What's going on, guys? I wanted to make a quick video talking about my experience at OCS and what you guys probably should do going into it in order to be successful. So I attended OCS in the summer cycle in 2023. I was in Alpha Company 3rd Platoon. We ended up being the battalion honor platoon, so we did super well. I personally was in the bottom 1/3 of my platoon. There were guys there that were way in better shape than me, as far as both physically and their leadership capabilities, but I ended up making it through with not too many bumps. And so I'm hoping this information will give you a good idea of where you should be at if you want to do well uh, and graduate OCS. So just to give you an idea, I had a physical fitness score of 92, 88 in academics, 83 in leadership, and a final PFT was a 93. So I did fairly well and passed all these by a decent margin, except for leadership. I definitely struggled a bit there, but I'll explain more of that later. So, how I personally prepared, I didn't run any more than 10 to 20 miles a week leading up to shipping out to Virginia. So, if any of you guys are worried that you might not be doing enough, kind of like I was, and you're only doing like 10 to 12 miles a week, don't stress too much about it. You're going to be just fine. You don't run really any more than 3 miles on a typical day at OCS. You are going to do longer runs. You have a 6 mile run, you have a few 4 mile runs sprinkled in there, but generally speaking, if you can run 3 miles, you're going to do just fine, as long as you're hitting the pace requirements that you need to hit. And most of the activity you do at OCS is going to be all running, so you're going to get better at running while you're there. I personally got better at running while I got worse at pull-ups and other stuff. So you want to go in not being able to lift and stuff, but being skinny and being able to run pretty quick. So the PFT standards, you're gonna want a 345 the plank to max it out. Gonna want to do 23 pull-ups, and the minimum requirement for the run is 24 minutes here. So if you guys can hit those numbers, you're going to have a great score and do well. I maxed out the plank. I had a roughly 21-minute mile. I don't remember exactly what it was. And I did 22 pull-ups. So I went in there being able to do that, and that worked out for me. So definitely review your 5 paragraph order. And if you don't know what that is, look it up on YouTube and have somebody else explain it to you. I'm going to have a slide down there that you should probably write down and use that. But if you go into OCS knowing what a 5 paragraph order is and how it's going to be used, you're going to be in great shape. And it's going to help you a ton with your leadership scores when your LRCs roll around. And you also need to know rank structure. You should know all the ranks, the symbols, and the hierarchy of all of it. If you don't, you're gonna be in some pain there when you call someone the wrong rank or whatnot. And then I'd learn a little bit about the M16A4 if you can. Learn the names of the parts and roughly how it works. It's going to be hard. I learned more just by doing it, but unfortunately, with how the nature of OCS works, they don't really teach you super kindly or that well at all for that matter. So if you can, or you know someone that might have a gun, maybe go over and learn how to use it. And when you actually get to OCS, study the crap out of your candidate regulations and that red book that they give you, you need to know that thing inside and out. So just any free time you have, which you're going to have a lot during that first week, just read that stuff. What to bring? I would definitely recommend bringing 2 pairs of boots. If you're counting on the boots that they're going to give to you, like I did, that's going to backfire in your face because they don't give you enough time to really get a good, properly sized boot. And they also are just really horrible boots. So I ended up just throwing mine out. They were that bad. So don't count on those boots for anything and go in with 2 good pairs of boots. If you do that, you're going to be in a really good spot. I bought Danner Reckonings. I put 2 insoles in mine, the insoles from Danner. And you also need brown Fox River socks. not black. You need to get brown Fox River socks. If you don't have brown, they're not going to let you wear them. And you also want a good pair of running shoe. I would definitely get two if you can. I had the Hoka Bondi 8s and they are awesome. So if you need a recommendation for what shoe to get, check those out. I would buy some marking tape. Kendall medical tape will work great. Or all of your gear, you're gonna have to mark it off and do all that stuff. So, um, yeah, definitely invest in some of that tape because the tape they give you again is gonna be pretty bad. And if you go in with good tape that actually sticks, it's gonna save you chits and your stuff's gonna look way better and you're not gonna get in as much trouble with the platoon sergeants and the platoon commander when that stuff rolls around. Um, all this stuff here, I would also bring some. Most of it's pretty self-explanatory. Cough drops and drip drop. It's an electrolyte supplement, drip drop. We were allowed to have those on us at all times, so it kind of you're not really gonna have much of anything other than water to drink, so it doesn't sound super appealing now, but when you actually get there, those cough drops and drip drop are gonna be pretty much like candy, and that's all you're gonna want. So definitely go in having some if you can. And I would go in there with the 5 paragraph order that I'm going to go to next, written on a notebook. So you have it and you can study it and whatnot. And when the 5 paragraph order time rolls around, you're going to be way ahead. Even though they tell you you can't have one, as long as you just put it in a random notebook, you're going to be just fine. Just don't pull it out and be stupid. And laminating sheets will come in handy. Um, yeah. So you don't want to bring too much and you don't have a lot of space. So if you bring too much, it's going to end up biting you in the ass. So definitely err on the side of bringing less more than too much. And they're going to give you everything you need. So even if you go in with nothing, they're going to give it to you. So you really, all this stuff is basically just extra accessories that are going to make your life easier. But realistically speaking, you could go in there with absolutely nothing and they're going to give you everything. So the 5 paragraph order that we just talked about briefly, I'm not going to explain it in this video because there are people out there that have already explained it much better than I have. But this format is exactly how they're going to teach it at OCS. And if you format your 5 paragraph order this way, you're going to do amazing on all your LRCs, all of your SULIs, and you're going to be way ahead of everyone else. So definitely write this down somewhere and bring it with you. You're going to be using this a lot, and they're not going to teach it to you until after your LRCs, which are leadership graded events. But if you familiarize yourself with the 5 paragraph order, you're going to jumpstart your LRCs, and you realistically should get hundreds on them if you use the 5 paragraph order format to brief your fire team or your squad. So definitely do that. Definitely write this down and definitely look up what a 5 paragraph order is and understand it a little bit. I wanted to quickly go over the graded events. So academics, you're going to have 7 academic exams that are all pretty easy. The bulk of it is going to be your leadership. So you have these things called leadership reaction courses where you're going to be in charge of a fire team. So it's you and 3 other guys, and you're going to have to take charge and basically tell them what to do in order to conquer the obstacle that is put in front of you. So you can look up online what an LRC looks like, and it will give you a good idea of what to expect, excuse me. And yeah, so you're going to have 2 of those and definitely use the 5 paragraph order format when you're briefing your fire team. If you do that, you're 100% going to pass and you should almost certainly get a 100. Um, your Sulis are upgraded from a fire team level to a squad level. So you're working with 4 fire teams together. So it's you and about 11 other people, and you guys are going to work together as a squad to, for the most part, it's going to be locating and destroying an enemy. So that's what a Suli is going to be. You're going to be running through the woods, locating an objective and either capturing it, destroying it, something like that. And you're going to be the squad leader in that scenario, telling your fire teams what to do. And again, if you use the 5 paragraph order, you're going to do just fine. So don't worry about that too much. And if you go in knowing what the 5 paragraph order is, you're going to do awesome. The platoon sergeant's inspection, the land navigation, the day land navigation, all this stuff, yes, it's important, but it is not weighted and not as significant as the LRCs and the SULIs. So if you do good on those, you're not going to have to worry about these other ones as much. So all this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. I wouldn't worry about it too much. You'll figure it out when you're there, but just so you know, look more into it if you want more information, or if you want me to make an additional video explaining what it's like, I'd be more than happy to do that. But yeah, that's the leadership exams, which are generally the hardest part. The academic exams, I'm not sure if I already mentioned this, but they're all multiple choice. They're 40 questions, I believe, and they're very easy. You should have no problem. Physical fitness exams, you're going to have 2 PFTs. So that's the 3 mile run, the plank, and the pull ups. You're going to have a CFT, an obstacle course, and an endurance course. You're going to have a lot more physical things to do. Not all of them are graded though. So when you see one of these 4 pop up, really give 100%, do your absolute best, because that's going to be when it matters most. So, and just to briefly mention quick, I actually failed both Suli 1 and Suli 2, and I still managed to have an 83 in leadership. I did really well on my Suli 3, and I got pretty much 100. I think it was like a 95 or something like that. And I passed my 2 LRCs with high 80s. So you have a lot of room to not do so well and recover. So if you end up failing one of these exams or whatnot, don't stress about it too much and just do well in the next one. In the last part, I just wanted to do a brief slide on what to expect. So every day you're gonna wake up at 5 a.m. and your day is gonna end at 9 p.m. or 2100. It's gonna be super long days. You're gonna be exhausted, but unfortunately, you're just gonna have to get used to it. You're gonna have fire watch, or in other words, 1 to 2 hours of interrupted sleep a night, while also potentially getting hazed by platoon sergeants or platoon commanders if they're around. That's gonna suck. That was the worst part of OCS for me, was the sleep deprivation, because on average you will not expect anything more than 6 hours a night of sleep. They tell you that they give you an 8 hour window to sleep, but they get around that by assigning fire watch. They assign you essays, and you're gonna be up all night doing that kind of stuff. And also, if you plan to write letters to your family, I know I wrote to my girlfriend while I was there. The only time you're going to have to write letters is going to be at night. So you're not really going to have any other time during the day to do any of that stuff. And even if you do, if they catch you writing letters, you're going to get yelled at. So I would definitely not recommend doing that. And yeah, so you can expect anywhere from 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night. And you're just going to, again, you're going to get used to it. It sounds awful, but you kind of just learn to live in that environment while you're there. Once or twice a week, you're gonna get a stretch PT, or a physical training day, which you're not really gonna be doing much of anything. You're just gonna be stretching outside, which is super nice. So you can look forward to those days as like a day off to let your body recover. You get Liberty at week 4, or you get time on the weekend to go out and do whatever it is you want to do. I would definitely recommend using that time to eat a ton of food, because you're going to lose a ton of weight. You're going to be pretty malnourished when you're there. And also get some sleep in. Don't do anything stupid. And use that time to just clear your head, fill your stomach, and just, rest a little bit to get ready for the next week. You need to maintain an 80 overall average in all those grade categories. So that's leadership, academic, and physical fitness in order to pass. And if you go below an 80 on any of them, you will be dropped. So you need to have at least an 80 on all of those categories there. Um, So you're gonna get church offered on Sunday. I would definitely recommend you go to that. I won't spend too much time on that, but definitely go to church because if you stay in the squad bay, you're still gonna get messed with and you don't want to deal with that. So when you first get to OCS week 1, you're not really gonna be doing much of anything. It's gonna be a ton of standing around, getting your gear, and just it's the in processing phase. Your drill instructors aren't even gonna be there. So it's gonna be a pretty easy week. Uh, Enjoy that time while it lasts because week 2 to 9, the rest of the time there is going to be absolute hell. So use that time to study your candidate regulations, kind of get the hang of what it's like to be there. As soon as they give you your kit to make markings, immediately start making a ton of extra markings because you're going to have to mark all your gear. Just do anything you can to get ahead because when the drill instructors show up, you actually have to start doing stuff with them. You're going to have little to no time to do anything. These are the phases that they tell you you're going to go through after the first week, and you go from in processing to transition phase. Do not expect decision making phase or out processing phase to be really any different. The only real difference is you get billets or roles during the decision making phase. So aside from that, it's not going to be any different. You're still going to get treated like shit. It's going to be horrible. Um, don't get it in your head like things are going to get better because it's not. And don't, if you get any chits, I got a ton of chits when I was there for a ton of different things. They really don't mean much of anything. I wouldn't worry about chits at all. They don't lower your grade. They're really just there to, I don't know, tell you you messed up without actually doing much of anything about it. So don't worry if you get a chit. It's not a big deal. Just sign it and move on. Do not go into OCS with a erasable pen. I had a second lieutenant at one of my mini OCSs tell me that I should use erasable pen and go in with them for the essays that they're going to assign you. Do not do that. They will find out if it's erasable and you'll get in trouble. You'll have to redo it. You don't want to deal with it. So just use regular pen. If you screw up, just restart and it is what it is. And one big tip I would give you is on the weekends you have Liberty, use Chat GPT to write your essay. So tell Chat GPT, hey, write me a 300-word essay on the importance of discipline in relation to the Marine Corps. And it will give you a perfect essay with the perfect amount of words that you need. And it's going to save you a ton of time because all you're going to have to do is copy it over. You're going to make less mistakes. All the spelling will be correct. So definitely after week 4, use that to help you out and don't worry about writing them during the week. And I just wanted to add in quick, this is from my Apple Watch. I would definitely recommend pacing yourself and getting a log of your runs. Before my Apple Watch, I actually just put it in the Notes app, my runs, my pace, and how I was feeling. So as you can see, I shipped off to OCS, I think it was May 27th. So I gave myself a good like week or 2 weeks of rest to make sure I went in at the most healthy place I could be physically. And I would definitely recommend you do the same. In the month leading up to OCS, do not go super crazy with your workouts. You're going to want to go in a good place because you're going to be prone to shin splints and a bunch of other injuries that are going to get you kicked out if you don't take care of yourself. So yeah, if you're looking somewhat like this, you're running 3 miles, you throw in the occasional 5 or 6 mile run, you're going to do great while you're there and you do not have much to worry about. If you guys have any other questions or things you want me to talk about, I'd be happy to make more videos or, reply to you in the comments, talk to you. I have Discord, so I can reach out to you guys through those avenues if any of you want to talk to me or get some advice. Again, I graduated in the summer cycle of 2023. There was actually a YouTube video of the Marine Corps OCS that recently came out. Um, Not sure if it's gonna show up, but the most recent OCS recruiting video that the Marine Corps posted, not this one obviously, but that was actually my cycle. I was an Alpha Company 3rd Platoon. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment or reach out. And I hope this helped in some ways. And if you guys need clarification, I hope I can do more in the future to help you guys out. So best of luck to you guys that are working towards this goal. And I truly wish you the best of luck. So yeah, see ya.